This meeting was called in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law C-231, Place 1975, and notices were forwarded to the Asbury Park Press, to board members, and were posted as required. Good evening, community. How are you? Our mission statement: Asbury Park School District will provide all students with a comprehensive and progressive education where everyone possesses the skills and character to succeed in a diverse, evolving global society. Mr. Hastings, roll call, please.
Ms. Page? Here. Mr. Grillo? Here. Ms. Jones? Here. Mr. LaRocca? Here. Ms. Lazinski? Mr. Pinckney? Here. Mr. Saunders? Ms. Etienne? Here. Ms. Abez Anderson?
Here. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mrs. Grant, we have a presentation. So does he want to? Okay, that's fine. So we cannot do the superintendent's report. Good evening. I'd just like to bring a couple of things to your attention. First and foremost, I want to recognize that our student enrollment has been pretty consistent, as well as our student attendance at this time of the year is consistent with years past. A slight dip, but nothing that's unusual for this time of the year. And I also want to draw your attention to a couple of highlights from the district. One in particular is with regard to the Asbury Park High School debate team. And so our Asbury Park High School debate team, again this year, participated at Harvard University's debate club and the competition, and they won 11 rounds this year, which equals 6 more than in last year's round. So I want to really acknowledge them for their work. Majestus Murphy and Iselyn Griffith scored the highest speaker team points out of the competition. And so kudos to them and their coach, Mrs. DeMarsico, for doing a phenomenal job. It's reflective of when we offer our students and expose them to those opportunities, they always meet our expectations. So very proud of them regarding that. In addition, I'm also very proud of Hard Hat Nation, which is defined as a group of dedicated individuals committed to building a brighter future. And the executive committee and their respective departments, our building administrators, teachers, and staff have been playing a wonderful role in supporting the growth that we have recently been recognized by the NJDOE for increasing our graduation rate. We have, over the past 4-year period, increased, and our graduation rate has grown by 21 percentage points, for which is phenomenal. It's not just phenomenal for Asbury Park Schools, but it's also phenomenal in the state, and we are very delighted. And I want to just thank the team and the administrators for their hard work, dedication, and of course the entire staff. And lastly, to conclude the superintendent's report, I want to invite everyone to our 4th annual Black History Month extravaganza. Part of the work that began 4 years ago was around ensuring that we acknowledge the culture, the rich culture and tradition of the students and the families that we service in our district. To that end, the Black History Month extravaganza has become one of the ways in which we do that. Our event will be February 28th at the Paramount, 5:30 p.m. You're all invited to attend. Our students will be performing. We'll also have acknowledgments for women. Our theme is about women and their contributions in our community and in politics. And so we're very delighted to showcase women, members of our sororities that have been very involved. And one in particular is a dedicated member of our school district and the executive committee team, which I'm very delighted that Ms. Roberta Buford will be one of our honorees at our 4th annual program. That concludes the superintendent's report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Gray. It is now public participation in accordance with Board Policy 0167. You have the lectern. Please come to it. You have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address. Thank you. Public participation in accordance with the Board Policy is now closed. State Monitor's report.
No, just call the board's attention to the resolution that's on tonight to begin a search. And the reason that we put this on at this time is because we're working backwards from what we hope would be a resolved selection so that anyone selected could begin and be on board by July 1. So the reason for it being the way that it's being time-wise on there is for that reason. Obviously, nothing is official until the board appoints, so it doesn't really, it shouldn't say it doesn't matter because it does, but the process is obviously one that we want to follow carefully and be ready when the time comes to make the selection and move on. It would be extremely difficult for someone beyond, to take the reins beyond July 1. And the contracts run July 1, so that's that's really what we are reaching for, and that's the reason it's on there. And I would just encourage anyone who has on the board who has any kind of suggestions or concerns to contact you, Angela, or myself, or Jeff.
Thank you. Mr. Hastings, acceptance of minutes.
Thank you. Could I have a motion to accept the minutes on page A19A and C?
Second.
Question?
Ms. Etienne? Mr. Grillo?
Yes.
Ms. Breach?
Yes.
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. LaRocca? Mr. Pinckney?
Yes.
And Ms. Abez Anderson?
Yes.
Thank you.
Can I, what's that? Madam President, I'd like to bring to your attention items B1 to B8, B12, and ask if for your consideration, board, to have a consent agenda. B1 to B12. Pages B1 to B12.
Question? Okay, roll call.
This is all items B1 through B12. Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Etienne?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Breach?
Yes, abstain on B1, 1D, B3, number 3.
Mr. Grillo?
Yes.
Mr. LaRocca?
Yes, abstain on page B3, number 2.
Mr. Pinckney?
Yes.
Ms. Abez Anderson?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
And now, Mr. Hastings.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like a motion to approve all items C1, number 1, through C4, number 10.
I need a motion, please. Seconded. Question? Okay,
Mr. Grillo?
Yes.
Ms. Breach? Ms. Jones? Mr. LaRocca?
Yes.
Mr. Pinckney?
Yes.
Ms. Etienne? Ms. Alves Anderson?
Yes.
All motions carry. Thank you.
I need a motion to adjourn. I need a second. Question? All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you, everyone.